If FBDCA leadership can't be trusted to follow their very own public health test guidelines, how can they be trusted to lead anything off-leash? In 2023, 133 French Bulldogs competed for Best of Breed at the French Bulldog Club of America National Specialty. Of those French Bulldogs, representing the FBDCA's most elite, 49 of them had zero record of parent club recommended health tests in the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals database. Only 42 had verifiable records either meeting or exceeding requirements for health tests, and the other 42 having incomplete records or missing tests. Worse, 23 of those French Bulldogs were owned by AKC Breeders of Merit, and some even owned by breeders the FBDCA points the general public to purchase puppies from on their breeder referral page.
Reputable. Adjective. Enjoying good repute. Held in esteem. Synonyms. Respected, prestigious, esteemed, renowned, distinguished, recognized, prominent, honorable, creditable, praiseworthy. A reputable breeder will not breed or sell dogs with disqualifying colors. Responsible. Adjective. As in liable, being the one who must meet an obligation or suffer the consequences for failing to do so.
A reputable and responsible Frenchie breeder should only breed dogs, conforming to his or her country's parent club French Bulldog breed standard. Those irresponsible breeders who breed for and advertise rare colors are intentionally spreading unacceptable color genes through the gene pool and causing problems for reputable breeders whose main concern is to produce quality puppies that conform to our standard. These irresponsible breeders producing fad colors are motivated by greed, since by calling their disqualified colors rare, they are able to sell them for very inflated prices. French Bulldog Club of America.
Meet the 2023-24 French Bulldog Club of America officers and directors.
We're preservation breeders, meaning we breed to a standard. That's the basis of the backbone of our club. You have many walks of people that don't want to breed to a standard. People can do what they want. We choose within the club to breed the way we do, and they might choose whether they like the different colors or coats. That's fine. We don't try to convert them. They don't try to convert us, and that's how I look at it. I had a Gretchen Randall email me today about using one of our dogs at stud. I gave her basic information, then asked for information about herself and her dogs. I never received any information as I had asked. I then went on FB to find out that we have 20 mutual friends. Please go to her page and just look at it. You will be removing her, I promise.
These people are grotesque.
Thank you.
Thank you.
These people are pretty slippery. She sent me a friend request a while back, but I deleted it. It sickens me what they are doing to our beloved breed.
And one of the friends is someone who does performance with their off-color, who is not neutered. And the club gave them a medallion at Eukanuba one year. I gave my opinion as to not to, since they are not an FBDCA member and are running DQ color. Oh, people did not like my opinion.
Watch what happens when a gray Frenchie with OFA excellent hips is pictured competing in agility at Westminster, in a health forum.
Hey, sorry you were even allowed to stand in front of something saying Westminster. Yes, good hips. But this dog doesn't look like a French Bulldog. I'm betting there are some covert terriers behind this dog considering his long legs, lean body, and racy build. Long, skinny legs. If you want to breed Frenchies, how about trying to look like Frenchies?
Paula, first, they aren't good hips, they are excellent. Don't downplay the rating. Her other blue dog also has excellent hips, as does my lilac stud for this matter. You're a veterinarian as well? Yet this is your only post on this forum since joining in 2016. This forum is for health, not a stacking pageant. Is this post what you tell your clients? Your healthy dog with the highest possible hip rating of OFA shouldn't be allowed at Westminster because it doesn't look the way you think it should?
Paula, you know we will never educate some people. Wasting time trying. Gee, it's amazing how many people care only about one thing, even when the dog is obviously not purebred and or doesn't even look like what it's supposed to be. Never heard of the breed standard. Would suggest you all read it, and if you don't have enough knowledge to understand what it's describing, get a knowledgeable person to help you. Educate yourself.
Janice Church Stadler, you realize you're in violation of the FBDCA Code of Ethics for behavior with your disparaging comment about Ms. Bottom's champion dog?
As a member of the French Bulldog Club of America, I will conduct myself at all times in a way such as to reflect credit on the sport of purebred dog showing in general and French Bulldogs in particular.
Janice Church Stadler, a former AKC judge, is now listed as emeritus.
Heather McPherson. BS. I'm quite familiar with all aspects of the breed. I'm quite sorry that you can't admit that your dog is not purebred and looks like the mix he is. Maybe some greyhound in the mix. And the current thoughts are that hips are 80% environment and 20% genetics.
Paula Meriden, not my dog. Still waiting on your amazing health certs.
While her DVM title isn't retired, Dr. Paul J. Kaufman's license is, since June 2000, basically over 24 years ago. Here's what the experts have to say about hip dysplasia and inheritance. This is Dr. Jared Bell's lecture presented to the FBDCA at their 2022 National Specialty. Dr. Bell is chairman of the Hereditary Disease Committee, HDC, World Small Animal Veterinary Association, WSAVA, the director, OFA, the Canine Health Information Center, www.ofaa.org.
This was from an article we published in 2011 of almost 1,500 dogs of all breeds that had hip x-rays whose parents both also had hip x-rays. And we plotted the rating of the dam versus the rating of the sire. And what we showed is that if you add the numbers, so 1 for excellent all the way down to 7 for severe, all the dogs with the same number, so 4 is borderline to excellent or fair to good or borderline to excellent, all of those individuals with the same combined parent score had almost exactly the same frequency of hip dysplasia. And when we plotted it out, I need to understand one thing here. Good to good was almost half the database. But if you're looking at moderately dysplastic to severely dysplastic, you've got 52 dogs here, you've got 49 dogs there. So there's not a lot to base it on. Here is that graph based on the combined parent scores. The only outlier is this severe to moderately affected dogs came up with a much higher percentage, but otherwise, hip dysplasia is being inherited linearly based on OFA grade rating. There's a difference between a fair and a good and an excellent and a mild and a moderate. And so we need to pay attention to those grades in that regard. And if we look at the combined parent score and add the number of normal grandparents in to the mix, even with excellent to excellent, if we have 1 normal, 2 normal, 3 normal, or 4 normal grandparents, the frequency of dysplasia continues to go down. So depth and breadth of pedigree normalcy.
I am one of the very few, if not only, AKC Breeders of Merit on AKC Marketplace.
Even though Paula J. Kaufman DVM is currently listed as an AKC Breeder of Merit, to qualify for this program, the breeder certifies that applicable health screens are performed on breeding stock as recommended by the parent club. In her case, the FBDCA.
The below written health testing recommendations have been selected to be printed on the AKC website. These written recommendations have been voted on and approved by the French Bulldog Club of America Board of Directors at our regular board meeting held on June 23, 2015. Hip evaluation, patella evaluation, cardiac exam, ophthalmologist evaluation. When speaking with a breeder, ask to see their health testing results or refer to OFA's website and look there for their kennel name.
Dr. Kaufman also self-describes on her Good Dog profile as good health testing, but only cites a DNA cheek swab for cystinuria 3. She has recently shown a dog bred and owned by her that she tested at age 43 months, only 2 months before competing in the French Bulldog Club of America National Specialty for Best of Breed. Notice that the hip scores are not posted. At age 43 months, had the dog actually been tested, as required for her AKC Breeder of Merit status, they would have automatically posted if normal. So, either Miss Kaufman skipped the test or her dog is not passing as normal.
And only 5 dogs with Miradon kennel name display in the OFA database, with the only one meeting all recommended health tests born over 23 years ago. If you search the AKC site for Miradon, an error displays indicating that over 40 dogs display with their registered name beginning with Dr. Kaufman's kennel name.
So it's important for you to authorize the release of abnormal results on your dogs because people, especially if you're breeding your dogs, I mean, if you've got an abnormal result and it's not up on the OFA website, what are people supposed to, and you bred your dog? You know, I just tell people, you got to consider they're dysplastic. And I'd rather see a mildly dysplastic and use it for breeding to something that's good or excellent than not see anything at all and say, well, it could have been moderate or even severely affected. Okay, so it's understanding what you have, and it takes a village to improve the genetic health of your dog. As long as we keep problems secret, we will not be able to deal with them, and breeders need to be informed about the problems occurring in the offspring that they produce.
We must be vigilant. Dirtbag fad breeders always trying to steal valor to bolster their unfortunate pedigrees. They can point to it and show of the great dog, and give some sort of twisted legitimacy to the POS dogs that sell for double, triple, or quadruple what standard bred dogs sell for. Oh, makes me so mad.
And that is a huge no way.
Still on Patty Sosa's personal Facebook page. In case you were wondering.
Crowdpleaserfrenchies.com blog paying it forward.
Margaret O., thank you for posting. Scam artist.
Seems she's contacting a lot of people. Beware and block.
Wow. Raffling off your stud? That's a first for me. Looks like at one point she was with AKC then to ABKC, which to me doesn't really seem like the direction horse people and dressage people would go, but...
Oh my gosh, this is outrageous.
It's all about the money, and she seems pretty proud of herself.
Thanks for the heads up. She is connected to, he is infiltrating preservation breeders as well. He is a prolific DQ breeder, shorty bulls, etc., crossing imported standard colors with DQ colors.
Ouch! Look at this. The dog is nice looking. But then she has this clause and his color panel.
James Dalton, a.k.a. the James.
As committee chair of the FBDCA PR and Media Committee, I am pleased to present our new logo as part of our outreach to educate the public, one of several projects underway. Each exhibitor at the upcoming FBDCA National Specialty will receive a beautiful decal featuring the logo in their welcome bag. Additional decals will be available for purchase. Thanks to my great committee for their hard work. Please feel free to cross-post.
When preserve and protect turns to proactive. Becky Smith, president of FBDCA in 2019.
Attention FBDCA members and show exhibitors, we need your assistance. It is very important that we as member exhibitors in conformation become more proactive. We must report DQ colors at show venues. Performance dogs we cannot control at this point as it is much more involved. We are seeing an infiltration of DQ color French Bulldogs. This is nothing new, however slick tactics are taking place from color breeders. For example, this just happened. Breeder shows a dog that is an approved color such as a black mask fawn, BMF, yet the pedigree has DQ colors throughout. Color breeders will finish this dog to championship and then breed to a DQ color. They will then sell dogs, stating they are from AKC champion bloodlines.
The sportsman judge judges only on the merits of the dogs and considers no other factors.
We are working with AKC to identify this type of situation. BMF is an allowed color, no problem there. This is only a for instance scenario. Many of us have BMFs, and for the record, we are not identifying this color as a problem.
This means all direct offspring have 50% chance of carrying, so
Hashtag do the math.
Susan Lipkin Cunningham, president of the Northern California French Bulldog Club, NCFBC.
Just my thoughts at the moment, subject to change, of course. I think being nice and inviting people to come see and learn at shows is a waste of time. People are trying to infiltrate AKC shows with apparent standard Frenchies to get champions on their dogs and breed them to the DQ colors. They aren't all naive. They're unscrupulous and conniving. Maybe we should just start calling them out to AKC reps, calling them out to prospective buyers, etc., etc.
We had a lady in the Portland area that was doing exactly that. She was not quiet about it either. Mostly studs. Put with a handler, get championship, and advertise her fad colors as champion sired. Pet people are very blind to it.
We need to get AKC to stop allowing the sale of fad colors on their AKC marketplace. The public are not even aware they are not standard because AKC allows it. We should start a petition.
Mindy Miracle, Cassandra Cutshaw, Melanie Boswell. This is from FBDCA member and AKC judge Sharon Dykes. Robin Stansel needs to be notified so he can address it with the judge. Also, they should report the judge to AKC. It won't take the ribbon away, but a field rep will be watching more closely when that person judges the breed going forward. Any photos that ringside captured showing the dog's issues should also be sent with the complaint. And if the name in the catalog hints at the breeder being a color breeder, take a snapshot of that too. Tag Sharon Dykes.
Technically, Sharon Dykes, AKC Judge Number 1, 00581, should not be taking note of any hint of a breeder who breeds color in the catalog.
Hence the use of blacklists, and in this case, blue lists.
Sitting indoors at the Solano County Fairgrounds, amid tie-dye beads, spectators wielding peace signs, and 1,969 dogs.
These 3 women came over and stood over me,
she recalled recently. She set down Jezebel, who'd been resting peacefully in her lap, and rose to speak to them. 2 of the women were dressed to show their dogs. 1 was there to watch.
I didn't like that feeling,
Lenarth said.
One woman said I was an abomination. Another used the F word and said,
"You don't deserve to be here."
One woman said,
"I will haunt you until you quit." Do you encourage fad DQ color breeding with French Bulldogs? Do you breed fad colors such as Merle or Blue?
God bless you. My name is omitted for privacy, and I live in Serbia. Perhaps the best answer to your question is to give your complaint to who own my dogs. Charla Brandt Lenarth and...
Yes, I saw that. Does this have exotic color in her pedigree?
No, none of our dogs have exotic blood in their pedigree.
I believe in a private group names, kennel names should be shared if it is known that breeders are putting titles on dogs that are then bred to DQ colors. I also feel that bashing people is wrong if it can't be proven. People can steal photos etc. and use them in a ridiculous way. If a FBDCA club member is involved, it can be investigated properly. Tough to monitor, but we must. Members sign a code of ethics that can be followed up on with action taken if need be.
The FBDCA Code of Ethics states that its standard is the only standard by which French Bulldogs shall be judged, and that members will not breed any French Bulldog whose owner is directly involved with any purposefully bred, non-standard color breeder.
Has anyone read A Reply to Vanity Fair? An article written by someone, a staff writer for Canine Chronicle.
A reply to Vanity Fair by Caroline Cole.
Her crime, in the eyes of these competitors, was owning a colored Frenchie. And yes, the language may sound disturbing. More on that in a bit. That's a quote from the latest AKC attack article in a mainstream publication, this time Vanity Fair. According to the author, Mary Pylon, who describes the article on her Facebook page as Murder, Money, Fur. It's her deep dive into the world of French Bulldogs. Unfortunately, Pylon appears to have dived off the edge or maybe hit her head at the shallow end, because I couldn't quite figure out the point of the article, except to claim that the AKC is bad. The French Bulldog Club of America is bad. Dog show people are bad. Dog shows and breed standards are bad and racist, and bad things happen at dog shows. Basically, unless you are a proponent of blue Frenchies, everything is bad.
I'm writing an article about rare controversial colors in the various sighthound breeds, and it includes blue and cream Basenjis. Caroline Coyle.
To be clear, the AKC is not above the law nor reproach.
Letter from Dennis Sprung. Dear American Kennel Club fanciers, the entire American Kennel Club Board of Directors and staff condemn alleged criminal conduct by any participant in our sports, and we will continue to examine ways to strengthen our oversight. We are committed to the well-being of every fancier, young or old, and will investigate every complaint that is received. If you witness or suspect wrongful behavior, it should be reported to the police immediately. If at an AKC event and you need assistance, contact the AKC representative or event chair. AKC is a welcoming community because we believe in sharing and celebrating the joy of dog sports together. We must treat others with dignity and respect while looking out for one another. There is nothing more important than safety for everyone who takes part. AKC leadership and staff monitor events and are trained with abuse awareness and prevention courses from the U.S. Center for Safe Sport. Please feel free to contact me with any concerns or allegations about improper conduct at AKC events. We are here to assist. Dennis B. Sprung, President and CEO, AKC.
AKC Business Intelligence. Report to Delegates. June 2022.
Ms. McComb spoke as follows.
I want to talk to you all about how business intelligence is leveraging data to better understand our AKC customers. But before we jump into business intelligence and the Business Intelligence Initiative, I do want to give a little bit of background on myself. Cassie McComb, Senior Business Intelligence Analyst. My background, I actually have a master's degree in epidemiology. I came to AKC in 2018, but before that, my background was in clinical trials and biostatistics. I've been here for about 4 years. I am an active dog sport participant, though I was not a junior, so I've had a lot of fun jumping into the deep end across all of our different AKC sports.
I mentioned that you probably have a good idea about the average AKC breeder, and through this data, we were able to objectively validate some of that institutional knowledge. The average AKC breeder is typically female. They're about 50 years old, typically married, and of some sort of white or Western European ethnicity. Because we're able to merge that with our data, our internal data about AKC history, we're able to stratify this group by their experience level. Experienced breeders versus novice breeders. About 25% of our breeder base are novice, and when you compare these two groups, there are demographic differences. These novice breeders are a little bit younger. Their average age is about 45, compared to experienced breeders is at that average around 50 or 51. The novice breeders are equally represented, male and female, whereas experienced breeders tend to skew female. Finally, the novice breeders also exhibited higher rates of diversity among minority populations, especially Hispanic and African American individuals.
Yes, she really did say that.
We also looked at propensities to register and purchase registration packages. When we did that, we found that men are less likely to register a dog, but when they do register, they're more likely to pay more for the premium registration packages that come with some different bells and whistles. Now, pretty intuitively, breeders and exhibitors are very likely to register their dogs. They have a vested interest in doing so. But when they do purchase registrations, far less likely to pay for the premium packages with the bells and whistles. Moving on to registrants, and again, these are individuals who registered their dog, not necessarily inclusive of all dog owners at a given time. But when we look at the average SEMDR registrant, They are pretty similar to the average breeder. Typically female, average age of 47, so a little bit lower than that 50 years for breeders. But again, typically married, typically white, and these individuals are also likely to own their own home. Again, we stratified by experience level, so people who had registered a dog with the AKC before, versus people who were registering a dog with the AKC for the very first time. And when you compared these two groups, again, we saw differences. New registrants were younger, with an average age around 46 compared to experienced or returning registrants, whose average age was about 55. These new registrants were also equally male and female, and saw higher rates of diversity among minority populations, again really focused in Hispanic and African American. Finally, these individuals were also a little bit less likely to own their home, which probably aligns with some of our thoughts on new dog owners. How can we support the growth and retention of diverse breeders? Today we've seen that we have subgroups with diversity, and we want to make sure that we retain and continue to support those individuals. How can we increase the value of registration for the second pet dog? We know breeders and exhibitors are going to continue to register their dogs, but those people who are only registering a pet and don't interact with the AKC other than for registration, how can we ensure that the registration that we offer is valuable so if and when they get a second dog, they come back and we retain them as customers? And finally, are we, 8, adequately supporting our new customers to ensure the future health of our organization and our mission? And when I say new customers, you can plug in a lot of different cohorts, judges, breeders, exhibitors, dog owners. These individuals are all key to the future of our organization, and we want to ensure that the AKC is around and making an impact for another 135 plus years.
Dog shows and breed standards are bad and racist, and bad things happen at dog shows. Basically, unless you are a proponent of blue Frenchies, everything is bad.
Just focus. All you need to do is just make sure you don't curse. Gosh. See? Easy.
Basenji Club of America ballot. From 1970, Basenji fanciers were divided in their acceptance of the two, dominant and recessive black colors, and they argued heatedly as to which one was correct. The controversy ended in the 1970s with a Basenji Club of America ballot that spelled out in detail where the tan markings of a black, tan, and white Basenji would be placed, thereby eliminating the recessive black Basenjis from competition. The ballot went down in defeat, as the majority of BCOA members felt that the breeders and owners of this primitive hunting dog were in the best position to assess and evaluate their own breeding stock, placing an emphasis on temperament, structure, and breed type, and leaving room for color variations as seen in the native dogs. This is still the feeling of most breeders, and we can generally give a little in the color department on an otherwise excellent dog. The Basenji standard has no disqualifications for color, and we like it that way.
One early illustration from 1849 shows the 20-pounder Nottingham Frank. To the casual observer, this blue and white pied dog with upright ears bears more resemblance to a French Bulldog than a Bulldog. It is from dogs such as this that the modern Frenchie descended. Anne M. here.
It's not Pylon's first dog show bashing report. While Pylon writes about sports and money, her specialty appears to be integrating the two so that almost any sport seems dirty. She seems to have a special affinity for smearing dog shows. Her dog credentials are that she owns a rescue puggle.
Did she really just shame the rescue puggle?
I am never one to air dirty laundry on Facebook, or participate in drama, unless it's American politics. However, I must say I'm quite disappointed in a moderator of a group I belong to called the African American Dog Show Community. First off, let me say as a person of color, and in this political climate and society we've endured over the past 8 years, groups of this sort are important for encouragement and confidence in a predominantly not-so-diverse sport. Second, blacks and Latinos already have a stigma attached to breeding rare color Frenchies that makes us tougher to trust when entering the Frenchie community based on current social stigmas. But I digress. A certain member of the group posted his rare breed Frenchies in the group as a low-key advert. When I questioned the activity, the moderator, an AKC judge, essentially told me to mind my own business and that he will allow the post of these black market Frenchies in this group called African American Dog Show Community. He also told me that he'd have to reconsider my membership, as if I really care or want to be part of a group that doesn't stand by standard, if I didn't like his decision. I ask my Frenchie friends as well as purebred dog breeders, am I wrong in questioning this? I feel this breed is in turmoil, as it is with the bastardization all the way to rising theft rates, and to hear an AKC judge allow such things to be promoted is even more disheartening. Furthermore, I'm not one to ever play victim, but I'm being made out as a bully to this unethical producer of bastardized pets.
I don't blame you one bit for being disappointed in this response from an AKC judge on a dog show site. It is an outrage. That attitude is why we have such a problem preserving standards, not only in Frenchies but in so many breeds. To have it supported by an AKC judge is a slap in the face to purebred dogs and the standards created in order to preserve them. Sad.
Janet Wickenden Krause totally agree. And to have top-tier handlers supporting these DQ color breeders is appalling as well.
Melissa Rose Mulcahy, it is completely disheartening. Boycotting those handlers is in order.
You are absolutely not wrong for questioning this. I would be questioning this group and furthermore, the AKC judge. Do you know if the judge is a non-sporting or Frenchie judge? I have seen this stuff sneak in everywhere in the dog show community. It is sickening. I recently turned down a whelping job from an English Bulldog breeder who was dabbling in the non-standard color world. It's not about the dollar, it's about protecting and preserving these breeds. My apologies for my rant. LOL.
I agree. I need to figure out who to contact at AKC.
Ask Cindy Stansell.
Sonia Begley, he is neither non-sporting nor Frenchie. Thank goodness.
Nick Alexander Phillips. Ask Cindy Stansell.
Nick Alexander Phillips? Contact Cindy or Robin Stansell.
Melissa Rose Mulcahy, speaking to Cindy now.
It should be noted that both Susan Lipcon Cunningham and Melissa Mulcahy are listed as officers of the Northern California French Bulldog Club, NCFBC, a for-profit subsidiary club of the French Bulldog Club of America. Yes, you heard that right. A for-profit club operating under the umbrella of the FBDCA parent club who enjoys a tax exemption as a 501(c)(7). A quick search shows a reported $6.9 million in revenue, according to ZoomInfo. And here's where it gets really good. According to the IRS, for-profit must be earning their income separate from the stated mission statement of the parent club. If they aren't, the parent club may be subject to unrelated business income tax, UBIT. For-profit subsidiaries of nonprofits. A nonprofit parent may establish a for-profit subsidiary because, for example, its leaders wish to engage in unrelated business activities that don't directly pertain to the stated mission of the nonprofit. Otherwise, the nonprofit may be required to pay an unrelated business income tax, commonly referred to as UBIT. A nonprofit may also create a for-profit subsidiary in order to avoid possible risk and liability that might be directed at the original organization if the activities were carried out under its tax-exempt status. FBDCA is under a code listed as something created in 1916 for sororities, fraternities, and garden clubs. According to the IRS, income is restricted to membership activities only, and they are not supposed to be involved in competition, and they are forbidden from generating measurable income from anything except membership. Further, they are forbidden from activities that include public accommodation. They must receive the majority of their income from membership dues. No more than 15% of the amount may be derived from use of the club's facilities or services by the general public, or from other activities not furthering social or recreational purposes for members. Those are the federal rules. So why does the 2021 FBDCA tax form show $0 for membership dues and assessments? And it's not just 2021, it's every year they've filed. But in 2021, the FBDCA claimed over $174,754 in revenue from outside sources, a clear violation of their tax-exempt status. Since 2007, their FBDCA has failed to report any revenue collected from membership dues, which are between $25 to $75 per person. That's at least 17 years of unreported revenue. That is supposed to be 85% of their current earnings of $174,000 minimum. But it is not. But let's get back to that unrelated business taxable income from the subsidiary. The subsidiary's income is subject to UBIT if they share the same mission statement. So let's look at the mission statements of the subsidiary club, NCFBC, and its parent club, the FBDCA.
NCFBC, encourage and promote quality in the breeding of purebred French Bulldogs through careful health considerations, and to do all possible to bring their natural qualities to perfection.
FBDCA, Section 2. The objects of the club shall be a. To encourage and promote quality in the breeding of purebred French Bulldogs and to do all possible to bring their natural qualities to perfection, and to promote the proper care of the breed.
Strangely, however, the 2021 IRS documents show a different mission statement.
Part 3 Statement of Program Service Accomplishments. What is the organization's primary exempt purpose?
To provide education regarding the French Bulldog.
With an average of around 52 to 104 hours dedicated to providing education by FBDCA board members, notice the dramatically higher hours for the treasurer, who clocks in a whopping 364 hours annually to collect that $174K tax-exempt revenue collected from both members and non-members to compete in dog shows. The dogs are often handled by professional handlers, not even amateurs.
This is a violation of the 501(c)(7) tax exemption status that the FBDCA has benefited from for years.
Form 990EZ Part 3, Statement of Program Service Accomplishments. Describe the organization's program service accomplishments for each of its 3 largest program services, as measured by expenses. In a clear and concise manner, describe the services provided, the number of persons benefited, and other relevant information for each program title.
Provided education regarding the French Bulldog to the general public, breeders, and AKC judges by holding events and providing literature.
Membership in a social club must be limited. A club that issues corporate memberships is dealing with the general public, the corporation's employees, and is not exempt. Evidence that a club's facilities will be open to the general public, persons other than members, their dependents, or guests, may cause denial of exemption. This does not mean, however, that any dealing with outsiders will automatically disqualify a club from exemption. Example: a country club regularly holds its golf course open to the general public, charging established green fees that are used to maintain and improve club facilities. The club does not qualify for exemption under Code Section 501(c)(7) because it is engaged in business with the general public. In addition, income from this activity inures to the benefit of the members by reducing what they must pay to maintain and improve club facilities. Ask yourself this: do you feel educated watching FBDCA members post their podium wins? Because that is what all of the money is about, both coming and going. Dog shows. The web maintenance expense listed at a measly $3,600. A mere drop in the bucket considering tens of thousands poured into pageantry. Ask yourself this about the so-called breeder referral page, cited by the FBDCA as a courtesy to the public, which they're not supposed to be interacting with at this level to qualify for their tax exemption status. Protecting over $174K plus annual revenue isn't the definition of inurement. By pointing prospective buyers to a listed club officer, Patty Sosa.
Specifically in 2021, advertising and promotion, $2,095. Insurance was only $1,900. A generic listing for show, $68,891. Top 20 cost of goods, sold, $22,217. Web design and maintenance, $3,600. Bully bash, $3,500. Email blast service, $790. PSFBDCA, $409. Judges and stewards, $400. Conferences, meetings, $212.
Further, this 501c7 tax-exempt nonprofit is running an auction house, complete with a Facebook social media profile. Top revenue stream, FBDCA National Specialty and Top 20, open to the general public. Not exclusive. Source, FBDCA website. Dogs are not required to be owned or co-owned by a member of the FBDCA. This makes this competition open to the general public and not exclusive.
And for a private nonprofit that claims their mission statement is to educate the public, but only spends $212 on conferences and meetings, how exactly are they educating the public on their number one source of expenses and income? Because you can't view the dog shows without paying for video. So, if you'd like to become educated by watching something like this French Bulldogs gate, you'll need to look elsewhere, like Westminster, where the videos are posted free to the public on YouTube.
Oh my God! What was that? How did she even? Wow!
But hey, at least she's the right color, I guess. So, it's all good, I guess.
Yeah, actually, that would be a big giant no. While the FBDCA amended their breed standard in 1947 to allow creams, the rest of the world still isn't entirely on board, and if you tried to show that color in FCI, you'd get disqualified. But hey, it's completely ethical, right? There's a tiny little section on the website for Public and Member Education Committee with only 6 pamphlets that can be printed, with the main pamphlet giving breeder referrals to themselves and warning about DQ show ring colors. The FBDCA has a clearly defined no-fad color campaign initiated in 2007. In this highly visible and international campaign, this 501c7 nonprofit organization that, according to IRS tax law, is required to restrict its activities only to members with no public accommodation, is aggressively urging all French Bulldog breeders and prospective buyers to join in a group boycott to manipulate the market sales against any color they do not approve of in their membership-only standard.
Demand drives the market, and if there is no demand for blue, chocolate, black tan, or other unacceptably colored French Bulldogs, there will be no reason to breed these colors. Don't financially reward people deliberately breeding Frenchies not accepted by our breed standard.
Inurement occurs when an insider of an exempt organization receives any of an organization's net income or inappropriately uses any of its assets for personal gain. An insider is a person who has a personal and private interest in the activities of an organization, such as officers, directors, and key employees. These officers of the French Bulldog Club of America are all displayed for puppy buyers from the general public to contact instead of non-members to purchase a puppy from them instead of a non-member. In this example, the link for Patty Sosa, director of FBDCA, takes you to her own personal kennel page where you can apply for a puppy, a personal gain to her using resources and funds of the non-profit 501c7 tax shelter, French Bulldog Club of America.
FBDCA members block actively interfere with non-member financial transactions. Strangely enough, the FBDCA seems to be very involved in dictating the market in addition to the show ring. They're legally not supposed to have a financial interest as a non-profit, but in addition, this is a possible violation of fair competition, according to the FTC, especially regarding horizontal conduct. FBDCA Public Breeder Referral Page, definitely discussing business, key points terminology to the public, purchase, business transaction, contract, reputable breeder, purchasing a dog is a business transaction. A contract is a means of laying out the terms of the purchase. A reputable breeder will not breed or sell dogs with disqualifying colors. Note: the disqualifying colors are set by this nonprofit, so if you buy from a breeder that doesn't follow this membership-only club's guidelines, you are buying from a not reputable breeder.
Or at least, that's what they'd have you believe.
You take your standard as a blueprint and you try and stay as true to that blueprint as you can. It's not just the physical, it's the health. We require eyes to be certified so there are no eye problems. We want dogs to have a long, healthy life. And this is not just for show dogs, for pets also. That's where the word preservation comes in.
So why is it that with a claim of over 100 champions bred by Patty Sosa, the OFA database is alarmingly empty of dogs bearing her kennel name, Bandog, and of those that do present publicly, most do not display the complete FBDCA recommended health tests, something any ethical breeder would and should do?
Although some people advertise and sell, usually for a very inflated price, Frenchies with what they call rare colors, this is considered unacceptable by the FBDCA, and we recommend that you see out reputable breeders who breed to the standard of the breed.
But as you might expect, Sosa is not alone. Remember Melissa Mulcahy? There were 133 French Bulldogs entered in the FBDCA National Specialty in 2023 for Best of Breed competition. Of those, 49 had zero public OFA records, accounting for a whopping 36.8% of every French Bulldog paraded around the ring. What's worse, 23 of those dogs are owned by AKC Breeders of Merit, who self-report that they perform the parent club minimum health tests on their breeding stock. So there goes that. This is the list of dogs owned by FBDCA members who are on the breeder referral page that showed their French Bulldogs at the 2023 specialty with zero OFA records that could be publicly verified as outlined and instructed by the FBDCA themselves. This is supposedly your cream of the crop, your elites, your experienced breeders. So if they can't even follow their own club's health testing guidelines, how can they be trusted to lead anything off leash?
Bulldog from Salinas is heading to the prestigious Westminster Dog Show. Action News 8 reporter Brisa Colon met Enzo today before he hits the road heading to New York.
It would be a dream come true, of course. I think everyone who's in dog showing world, you always have the dream of winning your breed at Westminster. Enzo will be following in his mother's footsteps. His mother won the breed in 2020. So that would be very, very exciting, and I'm sure his mom would be very proud too.
Meet Enzo, the #2 ranked French Bulldog in the nation, on his way to earn purple and gold. Enzo is leaving Wednesday to New York to compete in the Westminster Dog Show. He was born in Ohio but raised here in Salinas. Enzo's about to turn 2 years old and has been competing since he was 6 months old. Enzo shares a special bond with his handler, Alberto, who is taking him to the competition.
Primarily, I would say 90% of the time, Enzo is shown by Alberto. They have a really wonderful bond. They get to travel together, and he sleeps in the hotel, in the bed with him. So he's been working with Enzo since he was 12 weeks old.
Melissa says that to prepare for these competitions, Enzo usually just takes a bath, gets touch-ups, and stays in good physical health. But what makes Enzo a star is his presence in the ring.
Definitely, as relaxed as he seems here, he actually really shines in the ring. He wants everyone to look at him whenever he has his time to move around the ring. He just has that commanding presence that really makes the judges look at him. And that's what they're looking for. They've got to have that something extra. It's not something you can teach them. They either have it or they don't. And he definitely has it.
Outside of competing, Melissa says Enzo is a couch potato and barks at the postman and loves a good steak. Good luck, Enzo. The Central Coast is rooting for you as you head to the Westminster Dog Show in New York to compete on Tuesday. Reporting in Salinas, I'm Brisa Colon, KSBW, Action News 8.
So let's play a little game, shall we? Let's look up the 2022 #2 ranked Frenchie. What could go wrong? I mean, it is a dog endorsed by the James. And Enzo's human looks like she cares about being well-groomed. Let's type it in and see who's been naughty. 'Cause, let's face it, you already know it won't be nice. Who's your daddy? Not here. Mommy ain't here either.
No reputable breeder ever breeds against the standard. Stop fad-colored junk breeders. Every breed has a parent club that sets the standard.
We did it. Our new AKC champion.
Congratulations.
Joyce Haas, they are disgusting fad-color breeders.
Dustin James Butler Baker, this is clearly a standard sable pictured. Grab those readers.
Reese Lancaster Greer, low yes truly disgusting practice and no ethics.
Dustin James Butler Baker, you seem like such a delight to be around.
Reese Lancaster Greer, can't stand junk breeders with no ethics trying to pass as though they are doing good for the breed yet unethically breeding dogs. No reputable breeder ever breeds against the standard. Only an uneducated backyard junk breeder would ever do this. Reese Lancaster Greer, there are standards set by the parent club. If those change, so be it, and it will be voted on as a whole. But until then, don't pretend to be ethical and breed junk fad-colored dogs.
Dustin James Butler Baker. They are not fad colors. He's red sable. Neither parent carries color. Your parents must be proud to raise such a hateful person.
Alyssa Collins, and you are a horrible backyard junk breeder with no ethics.
Dustin James Butler Baker, are you kidding me? Both parents are completely standard. I have the DNA to prove it. You are a horrible human being.
Dustin James Butler Baker, do you not think folks can evolve as breeders?
Alyssa Collins, that's crazy. All the standard breeders I know, and we never get this color unless the line has had these disgusting mutts bred into it at some point. Truly disgusting and unethical.
Dustin James Butler Baker, you are a horrible human being.
You are a fad color breeder and a show dogs that come with standard coloring and manipulating many. No reputable breeder ever breeds against the standard. You can't hide your disgusting practices of destroying our breed then go show and manipulate true reputable breeders. This is disgusting. Stop supporting these junk breeders and the destruction of our breed.
A wonderful congratulations.
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 Pam Sabara Dillon, they are fad color breeders. Please beware. See the difference? Yes, sadly they get several good breeders. It's so frustrating. I had one reach out for a puppy about a year ago. I reached him and his wife. Found no dog pics at all, which was odd because they said they had 5 Frenchies. I then found their kids' Facebook pages. Find Merle and Blue Frenchies and one pic with the man in the background. They are sneak as can be. I worry about the older breeders that don't know how to research these people.
Unbelievable. Seriously, how can they think show breeders are that naive?
Here's the thing. Dustin James Butler Baker, candlestick maker, professional dog groomer. Your backyard is full of weeds.
Into the Frenchies, what they are doing health-wise. That's our biggest thing, is that to try to fight against these color breeders, they say there's nothing wrong with our colors. Our colors,
we health test, we do this.
How do we fight Heather?
I'm sick and tired of it, and it's like banging, banging your head on
the information's out there, how we bundle it and how we, put it out there for you.
We just need something that we can be able to fire back at them and say, no,
right.
This is what it causes.
There's enough published literature that tells you what that dilution locus does.
So we need it in layman terms.
Right, right.
When I have somebody call me and say, I want a blue Frenchie, and I'm like, no, you don't want a blue Frenchie. They're not in the standard. Well, why? What's wrong with them? How come? Well, they can have skin issues. Well, so can regular Frenchies, you know.
Right.
Fawns, they
It's
don't
true. It's true.
If any of this information disturbs you, particularly the FBDCA's tax-exempt status and failure to report membership dues and fees, please download IRS Form 13909, available at https://www.irs.gov, pub IRS PDF, F13909.pdf, refer to EIN for 7705-75443, French Bulldog Club of America, 4055 Forest D. Leonard, MI 48367 248 568 1751.